Much.
All right, we'll be coming right back to you in just under 10 seconds. Want to once again welcome all of you that are with us here in the House of Justice. Want to welcome all of you that are watching us online. If you're watching online, please don't forget to register. If you're here, don't forget to register for the convention before you leave.
2, 1, go.
We're back, brothers and sisters. You're listening to the National Action Network Saturday Action Rally, coming to you live on WLIV 1190 AM in New York. We're streaming to you across the country. In the 10 o'clock hour, we will be live on the Impact Television Network, and we are live here in the House of Justice, 106 West 145th Street. Call somebody, tell them the action is on the air. I'd like all of you to get on your feet right now. Give a big hand to the president and founder of the National Action Network, the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. When do we want it? Now. When do we want it? Now. Hug the person next to you, tell them you love them. Certainly we're happy to be with you for another Saturday morning at the Saturday Action Rally. For you that are here at the House of Justice, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue in the Village of Harlem. And for you that are listening live on 1190 WLIV AM in New York, and you watching on live stream at www.nationalactionnetwork.net. And in 7 minutes, we will be live on the Impact Network. We are happy to have you with us again to give our weekly report on where the action is. Give a hand out, Presiding Attorney Michael Hardy. Our musical director, Brother Brevon Neal. And certainly our inspirational message today, who really gave us a great message, and he won't be here for another 5 years because of that.
I told him to behave. He started tuning up. He don't know I used to travel sometime with James Brown. And when the opening act, Reverend Carter, got too good, James Brown would have him just cut the mic off. So I said to back Reverend Jackson, you start tuning up, I'll start looking for how we cut this mic off. Because we do have a second hour. Give a hand, Reverend Joe Fox. And our Northeast Regional Director and founder of Nan Tech, our 30,000 square feet technical center in Newark, as well as our mobile bus. In fact, he started the second Nan Tech bus this week, the Reverend Stephen Barton. Reverend Barton has really got our tech center going, about 400 seniors and young people coming every afternoon learning how to use the technical skills necessary to survive. We met with the president of Panasonic. He said the greatest threat that he sees is not immigration to American workers, but is the question of technology and automation. Automation, not immigration. If we don't prepare our young people for this new technological age that we're going through. That's why people think all we do is protest, and we do that. But we also building a proactive technical kind of campaign that is necessary. And Reverend Bartley has pioneered that and done it well. Let me thank and congratulate our New York City director, stand up brother, Derek Perkison. He's our field director here in New York. He and the Bronx chapter and William Allen, our Christ director, and all went and led the protest yesterday around these fashion designers that have come with these offensive blackface and other racial characterized images, nooses and all. And they marched down Fifth Avenue yesterday, and they went from the Burberrys to Gucci. And we saw it all on the news, the National Action Network. Some of our council people joined. I want to congratulate them. Imagery is important. What you see, you will become accustomed to, and it will normalize you. And if you normalize racial insults, it will lower your self-esteem. New York is the fashion capital of the world. We cannot allow us to be violated and not address that. And that is why when they wanted to step out and do that, I told them that was absolutely right, and I wanted to acknowledge that they do that, and they did it well, and will continue to do that. I'm going to be raising that issue on my MSNBC show today on where there is some positive moves toward diversity. It will not happen without continued pressure. Let me, by way of announcements, at 12 noon today, right after the rally, will be the public advocates debate right here at the House of Justice. This will be the last debate before the election. There's a special election for public advocates in New York on Tuesday. Y'all have to vote Tuesday. The candidates will be at 12 noon, meaning as soon as we break, you got about 40 minutes to get your sandwich or a sandwich, whichever one you eat. Some of y'all eat sandwiches, some of y'all eat sandwiches. Whatever you eat, or as my mom would say, or whatsoever you eat. We're going to start at 12 noon with the debate, and I want everybody back here for that. And of course, let me wish a happy birthday to Julia Nunez, our controller, and to one of my transportation assistants, Brother Ballard, got another year. He thought I didn't know. And I don't want him mad at me and be running me through the red light and we have an accident, so happy birthday, Brother Ballard. I also want to thank God for our Senator Brian Benjamin. Give Senator Benjamin. Senator Benjamin's having his inauguration tomorrow, and he grew up in this National Action Network family. He, and as well as William Allen, as well as Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, and grew up right here. And I marvel at how folk grow up and grow into something. And then others grow and don't grow into anything and get mad at those that do. Don't worry about those that mad at you, just keep growing. If folk are not talking about you, Senator Benjamin, you're not doing anything. And you know where home is. We're with you, and what you're doing is important. Give a hand. State Senator Brian Benjamin. We are live now on the Impact Network all over the world. Give a great hand to our Impact family. Let me say that I want to emphasize that April 3rd through the 6th is our National Action Network Convention. At the convention, we will have some of our top faith leaders, our top civil rights leaders, our thinkers, activists, Van Jones, and others already confirmed. Our presidential candidates, Kamala Harris from California, Liz Warren, Bernie Sanders, all confirmed, Amy Klobuchar, all of them confirmed, and it is free April 3rd through the 6th. If you can't come all 3 days, come a half a day, 1 day, but you need to pre-register so we can accommodate the ballroom space for you to be there. So you can pre-register right now by going online to www.nationalactionnetwork.net, www.nationalactionnetwork.net, or you can call the toll-free number. People are sitting by the phone right now at 1-877-626-4651, 1-877-626-4651. We are looking for our biggest convention. Let me tell you, we are in a real trying and challenging season. When we look this week, 1 minute is Jesse Smollett perpetrating a hoax or not. Before you can deal with that, then you get the owner of the New England Patriots arrested for solicitation of prostitute. Before I could read that story, R. Kelly hit with 10 charges. And if you are not careful, the issues that we need to focus on in terms of systemic change will get lost in the gossip of the day. I'm not minimizing the impact of any of that, but I'm saying that at the same time that we want the criminal justice system to be in those cases, we still must concentrate on our reform in the criminal justice system and healthcare and other things. Keep your eye on the prize. Senator Harris came and had lunch with me at Sylvia's this week, and we talked about that. And many of you saw it on the news, and we talked about criminal justice, voting rights, as well as her plan around health care. As soon as we walked out, all the press outside. Did y'all talk about Jesse Smollett? No, we talked about voting rights and criminal justice. She running for president, not the 5 o'clock news gossip part. Now, if Jesse Smollett did a hoax, he ought to be held accountable. Let's be clear. If he didn't, they ought to be held accountable. We ain't ducking that issue. But don't decide how we gonna deal with what we deal with. I'll make no excuses for anybody, right or wrong. We have to have the moral courage to stand up. But we have an agenda. And it's not one to react, it's to act. That's why a lot of y'all, the Twitter junkies, just sit around reading tweets and then decide. Don't side my stuff. I tweet, but I don't read your tweet back. So I want all of us at our convention so we focus on what is going on and what is important. Let me say this, and I'm going to go to our theme of the day. I definitely want to raise that it is very important, extremely important, and I'm going to do this on Politics Nation today and tomorrow. Y'all know live at 5 o'clock Eastern on MSNBC. We need to really focus on if we are in a nation that has the disadvantages and disparities. That is what this presidential election next year must be about. It will be that at our convention, preparing for that. The irony of a man that had been accused of colluding with Putin. I want y'all to get this at home. You had the hairstylist come from under the hairdryer. Listen to this. The irony of a man that has been under investigations for colluding with the communists, gonna call the Democrats socialists. Only one under investigation for being a socialist or communist is Trump. But he gonna turn it around and y'all gonna defend that. Ain't nobody been running around with communications but you. That's like somebody cheating on their wife, get home 3 in the morning and ask her where she been. Y'all laughing like y'all been through that.
My Lord.
Somebody said, my Lord. Oh, I might hit a nerve on that. Let me recognize the presence of our chairman of the Uptown Chamber of Commerce, protege of Percy Ellis Sutton, Brother Lloyd Williams in the house. This is Black History Month. One of the distortions of Black history is that we like to romanticize the past, like there's no obligation in the present to guide it to the future. History is based on continuity, and everything in the present was based on what was done in the past and built on so that we could have a future. That is why we always tell people that if you are going to make an impact, you need to be part of continuing history. Be a member of something. Be a part of something. If you're serious, you can tell people not serious because they want to just go off and be stars. They're in between show business and the people's business. I mean, a lot of activists run through here. Give me some space on the stage. We did not build a stage for you to audition. We built a stage for activism and social change. Now, you got, it's glad you came through here because I can help you. There is a stage about 20 blocks down. They meet Wednesday night. They call it amateur night at the park. You go and rub the thing and get up there and shoot your best shot. But that is not activism. 1968, April 4th, that's why we always do our convention around that week. I was at home with my mother. I was going to be 13 that October, in April. I had just joined Operation Breadbasket in Brooklyn under Reverend William Jones. We were watching a show called Ironside with Raymond Burr. And it flashed across the screen, Dr. Martin Luther King had been killed in Memphis, Tennessee. My mother broke down and started crying. I had seen Dr. King come through Washington Temple to do 1 or 2 rallies because Washington Temple had a lot of seats. But I didn't understand why she was that hysterical. We met a lot of folk, with me being a boy preaching, running with Nan Jesse Jackson. But she was crying like he was a member of our immediate family. And I said, I remember meeting Dr. King, seeing him, but why you, she says, you don't understand. You born up here in Brooklyn, I was born in Dothan, Alabama. You would have had to ride the back of a bus and be told you couldn't drink from the water fountain, you couldn't go to a restaurant to understand what Dr. King meant to me. And the reason I'm crying is now what are we gonna do? She said, with all of the folk out here talking riots and violence, people fighting, and he's gone, what are we gonna do? And over the next several months, a man emerged that answered my mother's question, who she was able to know and ask him to help guide me, and not only me, but the generation. He was 12 years younger than Dr. King. He was the youngest man on Dr. King's national staff. And we were all 13, 14 years younger than him, the next wave, but did not know. It doesn't matter if you're a wave if you ain't in the ocean. You just on the beach flapping your hand. And this man took the lead.
Yes, he did.
Not by stardom, but by work. 18-hour days, constant death threats. And he carved out the continuation of his assignment. In Martin Luther King's last speech, he talked about Operation Breadbasket and the economic fights, and had Reverend Jackson, who was seated behind him, talk about how they were targeting certain companies. We will boycott A&P as an extension of the A&P boycott in Chicago. I have posters in here that we're gonna hang up when we make the museum here. Where the first time I went to jail, I was 15, sitting there at Lexington Avenue on his boycott of A&P. This was Dr. King's assignment to him. For you, Reverend Joe Carter, that believe spiritually, you that got the spooky religion I grew up with, it was no accident to us that Dr. King was talking to this man when he was killed. Some things happen, doctor, that you don't plan. It's something that God sends message. That's why only Daniel could read the handwriting. Some of y'all see stuff but don't understand what you're looking at. This man led us all into the economic fight and gave hope to us that though King was dead, the dream was still alive. Well, why was he important? He began to change the corporate relationship with our community. He began to empower us politically. He sent us, I was a teenager, over to Newark, Stephen Bartlett, to help campaign for Ken Gibson with Imam Omir Baraka, whose son now is the mayor. So whether it was political empowerment that led to Barack Obama, whether it was economic empowerment that led to black billionaires, whether it was civil rights, it is Jesse Louis Jackson that kept that movement going and pushed it forward. So this is not about a back in the day black history. This is present day, right now, black history in real time. It is our honor today that he is with us, what he's done for us. He has been my mentor since I was 12 years old. And we have spent over 50 years together. And he is a hard taskmaster. We argue with him doing most of the talking. I get mad, come back, but I learned that only fire can bend iron, and he will fire you up. Some of y'all like people to cuddle you. Some of the time you need somebody to choke you. And he's done that for me and many others. And I'm glad that as I've seen President Obama and others continue the political route, Cory Booker and Kamala Harris, that we've tried to, and Nan continue the civil rights route of him. We all branches on a tree that he kept going with Rainbow Push. The political side with his son, who made legislation that really stands out. Many of y'all saw him on the show 2 weeks ago, and he and Ms. Jackson gonna bring the book to our convention. So I'm proud today that when we started the House of Justice, it was him, Reverend Jackson, that came and cut the ribbon that night with Mayor Dinkins and named it the House of Justice. He named this the House of Justice. And it is a name that we've lived up to. Sean Bell's mother's here this morning. Eric Garner's mother's here this morning. One of the 5 young men falsely accused in Central Park that Donald Trump took as and said they should be executed. This young man did 14 years in jail for a crime he didn't commit. When he got out after DNA proved they were innocent, they wouldn't give him a job. So he worked here for 4 years. He's here this morning. Carrie Weiss from the Central Park 5. And he worked in the House of Justice because we are on our assignment from Reverend Jesse Jackson. I bring you the standard bearer, our leader, our mentor, Black history on 2 feet. I don't care who you get, they can't match him, and they cannot compete with his legacy. We are part of that House of Justice National Action Network, the Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Protect me, never neglect me. I am God's child. My mind is a pearl. I can learn anything in the world if my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it. I know I can achieve it. I am somebody. Down with dope, up with hope. Down with dope, up with hope. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Keep hope alive. Never surrender. Keep hope alive. Never surrender. Keep hope alive. Forward by hope, not backwards by fear. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Reverend Al Sharpton, not the one that make you scream. Delighted to be home today at the House of Justice. Be with my friend and son in ministry, Reverend Al Sharpton. God has blessed Al in an abundant way. He has made himself available for service. The other night at our Rainbow Push Wall Street project, Layla Hathaway sang. She sang so beautifully. Plays piano and plays instruments. She sang like her daddy. Well, if you have genes and don't develop them, they lie dormant. She also had to go to Berkeley School of Music. So if you have opportunity and blow it, will never cultivate. Al Sharpton has done a lot to little. There's none other like him. And he said, well, he didn't know Dr. King. Paul didn't know Jesus. Paul did more writing than the four Gospels put together, because he captured the spirit of Jesus. Some of them were too close to see him. They would run around trying to dress like him, look like him. They didn't understand. Al Sharpton understand the struggle for social justice. God has blessed him in ways that's hard to imagine. I am indebted to him in a special way because he makes me feel that my living and work was not in vain. now and then you have these special moments. I was with Reverend Barack, or President Barack one day. He said he was at the debate along with Al really at Columbia University. I was running in '84. And the debate was between Hart and Mundell. See, he was a student at the time, and he did not believe this thing could really happen. He just came to watch the debate. He said, after the debate, he looked at what I had done and said, this thing can really happen. Seed sown. Al Sharpton believed this thing can really happen. And every now and then when I see him, whether it's on television, on the radio, always makes me feel proud. Al has many scars in his body. See, but from your scars, come your stars. No scars, no stars, no cross, no crown. Because I believe that God is too merciful to send anybody to hell. I think that everybody's going to heaven. Whatever they did, they're going to heaven. But some are going to volunteer to leave because they're going to get to heaven. And Mary and Joseph will be sitting around crying about they lost their son. And others be trying to put John's head back on. All the angels will be busy working on folks who suffer. They just feel lonesome and just go to hell on their own. Y'all got that right? And some people will leave heaven and just go to hell because they're lonesome. Anybody giving them no attention. Al Sharpton, we appreciate you. Don't take Al Sharpton for granted. Because he's available to you. People like Al don't come like bunches and grapes. They're rare like pearls. And when you have a pearl before you act like a pearl, hogs don't distinguish between corn husk and pearls. They're hogs. Don't distinguish between corn husk and pearls. If I don't appreciate Al Sharpton, I got some hog in me. I thought the Reverend Joe Carter had a good church in Newark. We were with him, among other things, when Whitney Houston died. But there, see, he's candidating for a church in Harlem. I really make that spinning and tuning up and went on the air. We were looking for the plug to pull on him. He right this on his ear, spinning in the middle of the floor. Joe Carter, we thank you for your man. Give a big hand to Reverend Joe Carter. Big hand for Reverend Joe Carter. And all the ministers who are gathered here today, ordinarily I would be in Chicago preparing for our 10 o'clock broadcast today. But I wanted to be here with Reverend Al, with my son, my brother, my friend. And we'll go over to Newark later today to be with Reverend Jefferson at Metropolitan. I want to read just 3 verses of scripture for you. I don't do much preaching anymore because I'm old and got the Parkinson's and different things like that. 13th chapter of Exodus. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whosoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast. Repeat, saying, Moses said unto the people, remember this day. Remember this day in which he came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. But by strength of hand, the Lord brought you out of bondage. Now you're free. In some sense, the Jewish religion is built around this verse. After they were in bondage for 400 years, as we've been in bondage here for 400 years.
Every now and then you should stop and count the cost. There are some things, some days and moments to be measured. As remember, when I was a little boy growing up in South Carolina, we finally became middle class in 1956. We moved up to the projects. We got in 1948 Hudson. Had our own self car. We had in the project, didn't have no more, had our own key, had our own mailbox, indoor bathroom and so forth. We became middle class that year. So on Sunday afternoon, we would go out to just drive around to see stuff, had our own car. And we'd go down to the river bridge, look at pictures in the window. We couldn't go to the skating rink, couldn't go to the ballpark, couldn't stop at the parks. We just drive around. Just get $1 worth of gas, 5 gallons of spur gas. S&H green stamps, some of y'all know. Yeah, I know y'all don't know, but y'all know about S&H green stamps. And one Sunday afternoon, Grandma said, y'all been going to the places y'all know, so I want y'all to follow me today over to the old home ground. So she said, go over to it easily, over to it Pickens, where Clemson is, by the way, where Willie Earl was lynched. I want you to go over that way and go down the highway. And she was giving directions and an artist to go over yonder around that bend, over that hill, over that hump. So we got there, she said, turn right here. Now Grandma could neither read, nor write, nor see well. So you get to this corner, turn right. That's where the store, but they would come up to that store. They would bargain and do sharecropper, work every year, but never have enough money to pay off the bills. So we went on down about 3 miles. There was no sign. She said, stop right along here. My brother got the car. I said, what you mean? She said, well, I think I got it. Got what? Well, kick that grass out around that rock, if that's the rock. And it was a rock there. And we kept pulling the grass up. She said, now, don't go down that way, because it's kind of marshy. That's where the snakes are. Don't go up that way, because that's where the old church was that burned down. And behind that's where Grandma and them who were slaves, that's where they're buried at. She could not read. She could not write. She could not see well. But once she got to the landmark, everything else made sense. That's why our Proverbs says, remove not the ancient landmarks. Our mothers and fathers have said. You may be able to read, but if you don't know a landmark, you don't know what you're reading. You get eyes that you can't see. Landmark is a frame of reference. 400 years later, it's time to do some assessing where we came from. While Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina, Mississippi take the hits, the real trade market for commerce and cotton was New York, the port of New York. As a matter of fact, Joe, the first state to end slavery was Vermont. It was all the way up the coast. It was all the way up the coast. The big shipbuilders became enriched off of our enslavement. Say our people are not slaves. They are our ancestors. They may be slaves to the present, but they're our ancestors. They're our foreparents. We have a subjective relationship to them. We have a lineage kinship to them. We're ours. They're ours. We must ever honor their legacy and their sacrifice. We are theirs. We belong to them. The money is made off of the commodity. We were the commodity in the commodity exchange. And they would import Africans, and they export cotton and tobacco. And they built the whole economic system around Wall Street. Africans, because they feared the Indians would attack the Dutch, built a wall on Wall Street. That's why they named it Wall Street. It's the Africans with logs and trees built a wall around Wall Street, keep the Indians from attacking the Dutch. So Wall Street is named after us. There's a burial ground on Wall Street, which we should all visit. Those our foreparents. The first African church was on Wall Street. There's a statue that replicates that. At some point, they moved us to the other end of Manhattan, which is Harlem. We were built up here. We were the Renton district. We were the slave quarters for the Wall Street. A New York City councilman put forth legislation to solidify slave trade in New York. Before that was Central Park, from Wall Street to Harlem, there were just trees. When we stood up on the other side, we would say we are on the same island as Manhattan. Manhattan, Harlem, Wall Street, on the same island. Harlem is right down the road from Wall Street. And that's interesting that most of our leaders who argued different cases never quite got to march on Wall Street. Because we deal in stages of our state. The first stage of our struggle, which is the first stage of our struggle, was to end legal slavery. Nothing else mattered to end legal slavery. There was an abolition movement around the world to end legal slavery. The second movement was to end Jim Crow. Jim Crow was more violent than slavery. When slavery needed to preserve us, to make other little slaves. But in Jim Crow, 5,000 were lynched to drive us from voting. Most of us came to Philadelphia and Newark and New York, not as immigrants, but as refugees driven out the South. We were the majority in several southern states. South Carolina alone had 8 black congressmen. They drove us out the South. We didn't come north voluntarily. We were driven out by fear. So the third stage is access to voting. We'd been here 346 years before we got the right to vote. Now in the fourth stage of our struggle, that would be the fourth stage, access to capital, industry, technology, and dealer flow. You can be out of slavery, out of Jim Crow, have the right to vote, and be free, but starve to death until you get access to capital and industry and dealer flow. You catch the airplane, fly from here to Chicago, stop our way up Indianapolis, Memphis, Nashville, LA, you will not see a single building that's on the skyline for African Americans. Not in New York, skyline. That's theirs. That's where you live. It's not y'all's. It's theirs. Nothing is wrong with us. Something's wrong with the system. Right. Today, an African American male or female cannot get on collaborate with the whites and get on an idea. White man gets on the corner and say, you know, I see about 1,000 cars pass every 5 hours. I think we should build a hotel here. You're going to get the money on the idea of traffic. You cannot get money on the collateral for the hotel. So many of our freedom allies are not our equality allies. Right. Freedom is to end humiliation. Right. Equality is to get your share of economic and political power. Right. Let me back up a minute. How many of you remember your grandmothers or grandparents? Raise your hand. Hands down. Remember your great-grandparents? Great-great. Great-great-great. That's 5 generations. And book of Matthew, Joe, the first chapter, I didn't understand it for a long time. It's 42 generations from Jesus to David. Jesus was from the household of David. He could quote David, his 42nd grandparent, that used to quote your grandparents. So from David to Jesus, it's 1,000 years, 42 generations. David to Moses was 2,000 years. Now, why is it important, y'all? If you don't appreciate the depth and breadth of our struggle, then you will be like a hog looking at turtles falling corners. So we must know our struggle, its history, put light in darkness. After 244 years, work without wages. Now remind you, Declaration of Independence came in 1776. So we had been enslaved for 157 years under slaveocracy. When it was written, so many wives said, 250-year celebration. So we had been in America 157 years slaveocracy. Why are we so light-skinned? Because of rape. Why are we so light-skinned? Our women were used as comfort zones. They experience their sex on our for mothers. So we look like our foreparents. It's not so bad. They hatched us. It's bad when we believe in the system that they own. And so it is 100. Now, so 1789, 169 years, the Constitution. For 156 years, we have been slaveocracy. We were the foundation for the cotton and the tobacco and the farming, the agriculture. So, well, what shall we do? Well, how shall we count them? So every person who's enslaved is counted in some recorder of deeds in some southern city today. So everybody who came was counted. Because they named us 3/5 human to alter the tax burden. See, we went from no status to 3/5 status. And around 1861, the South wanted to break away and form another country. I'm going to try to hop and skip through some of the history there. I think it's important. And said that, Lincoln said, y'all don't come and rejoin the Union. I'm going to free them. I'm going to free the supply line for the Confederates. Right. I'm going to free those who pick your cotton. Yeah. And we're going to, they want to join Britain and France because cotton was then what Silicon Valley is today. We're going to have a new nation. They had their own capital, their own currency, Confederate money. They had their own newspapers, their own armies. And the South was winning the war. So the Southern farmers beating the Northern industrialists. They got as far north as Antietam, Maryland. As far north as Gettysburg. Where the headquarters from Montgomery to Richmond. They're about to encircle the White House. When Lincoln said, Lincoln freed us, and we saved Lincoln. If we had not saved Lincoln, he couldn't have freed us. We saved the Union. We saved the Union. We saved Lincoln. If we had not saved Lincoln and the Union, today we would be speaking French. And July 4th would be the shot from Sumter, South Carolina. So we saved the Union. We saved Lincoln. Lincoln freed us. Now let's go a step further. Y'all don't mind me talking to this, man. Because when that happened, if we had lost that war, would have been the 13th Amendment. Would have been the 14th Amendment. Would have been the 15th Amendment. If we lost that war, and the Confederates had moved and taken over Washington, they would have enslaved us as long as they could have kept us bonded. When we joined the Union Army and shifted the balance of power, we then saved the Union. We saved Lincoln with our military might by stopping producing cotton and supply lines. And we spoke up. We saved America. America freed us. But then betrayed us 12 years later. Part of the deal was that we would get Reconstruction. We would get the right to vote, and the right to own land, the right to marry for the first time. And then when Lincoln was assassinated, he was killed by design. And then Johnson took over. And then, so when they removed the troops, the former slave masters became Jim Crow masters.
Talk about it.
You got to go to Montgomery to see the new slave museum. It's the most meaningful one. Say because 5,000 blacks were lynched, or burned out, or burned up in Jim Crow, protected by the federal government and the state government.
Okay. Hard.
Lincoln said, I'm free January the 1st. We couldn't lobby. We couldn't march, we couldn't protest. Christmas Day meant nothing to us, we couldn't shop. We had no money, we legally make money, couldn't leave the plantation. So all roads led to December 31st. And guess what? And we watched, that's where watch night come from. It's not good guys who go to church and other guys have parties. So December 31st, 1862, we watched all night, and prayed all night, and sang all night, waiting to end 244 years of slavery. Watch night is a sacred, watch night is the day that God put his mighty hand
Yes, sir.
in bondage and saved us. We have a liberation day too. And the Bible says, remember this day. Remember this day when God put his hand and took you out of bondage. Remember 1863. So January the 1st, it's not the Ham Hock Day. It's not Black Eyed Tea Day. It's not Ballman Day. That's the day, the first day we were citizens of the country. The first day we had the right of equal protection on the law. The first day we were citizens, 1863.
Remember the day.
Lincoln was so happy that we won the war. There's always been some kind of festival around Thanksgiving time. Lincoln declared by executive order in Gettysburg, still smelling the stench of soldiers who had been killed there, and Lincoln declared Thanksgiving to be a federal holiday.
Yes.
So Thanksgiving is a federal holiday. Was Lincoln by executive order, not by legislation, by executive order, dedicated Thanksgiving to saving the Union and ending slavery. So Thanksgiving revolves around history too. Just as Al and others of us went to jail marching to free Mandela, he was over in South Africa. When we were enslaved people in France and Britain and were marching in slavery in America. And so as a gift, watch this now, as a gift to us, the ending slavery, saving the Union. As a gift to us, stopping the South from secession, segregation, and sedition. As a gift to us, they gave us the Statue of Liberty. On the same river today, that the Statue of Liberty about so high. We've made it the biggest. The Statue of Liberty was not designed to welcome Europeans to America. It was a congratulatory gift from the French abolitionists for our freedom. I'm trying to do this with the narrative. We said Lincoln saved us. We freed Lincoln. Our freedom drove Thanksgiving Day. Our freedom drove the Statue of Liberty. Our work for 244 years without wages is the foundation of the American economy. Why did the reparation make sense? The people who are oppressed deserve repair for damage done.
Right.
You say so far back here, you know. She said Jesus can remember 1,000 years, quote Moses 3,000 years, his first sermon in Isaiah 700 years. He didn't even have a Google. Said Jesus, without Google and Facebook and Amazon, can remember 700 years for Isaiah, 1,000 years for David, 3,000 years for Moses. Surely we can figure out 400 years. So we got free, but never got equal.
Never equal. And we treat each other so mean.
24 years of raped women and beaten men. When we got out of slavery, to be sincere, they should say, well, for those who color, you can have some of the land. So, well, you get 4 acres of mule. Say, some of us did get. Some of us did get 4 acres of mule. Why did we leave it? We burned off of it. If you got 4 acres, you can't stay in the rural area without lights. You got 4 acres, you can't get seeds. You got 4 acres, you produce, they won't buy your product. The land is of no value. So while we had built the nation on free labor, whites were coming in from Europe getting 500 acres and some slaves to cultivate the land. So while we built the land and got no repair, whites were sent from Europe to people the country. And they peopled the country and further enslaved us. And then they were able to, by stigma, by race, complexion, isolate us. That's why communists from Russia or from Ukraine, white, blonde lady, got more options than a black woman from this country. Say white has been made a badge of honor, and blackness a badge of shame. It's not bad that they made black a badge of shame. What's real bad is we believed it. It's not so bad, but to adjust to it is the problem. Al says no justice, no peace. He said, don't adjust. When you're in a hole, you do 3 things. You either adjust, or you resent, or you resist. So when you're in a hole, a deep hole, if it's dark, don't go further, only gets darker. If you're in a hole, don't look for a shovel, look for a rope. And don't believe the first light you hear talking. That light maybe a train coming this way. It may not be sunlight. So the first voice, the first voice may not be sunlight. Maybe a train coming this way. It's slavery. The worst of slavery is to adjust to it. Now, if you begin to deal with measurements, you can then begin to see major progress. We pick cotton balls, made the country rich. Now, Ohio State and Clemson and Alabama, they pick footballs. They pick basketball. So picking cotton was not so bad. We could not grow the cotton on the land, sack it, build it, turn the textile, go to New York Harbor, and sell it. We were locked on the bottom. Now, if you play for Ohio State, you're all-American, you sell your jersey, you get kicked out of school. See, we fill up all the football stadium and don't own one. 32 teams, we own none. Free but not equal. So in the Jim Crow, we became freer. Right, the vote became freer, but not equal. And none of y'all tired of the chuckle in a minute.
Stop now.
Remember this day. So in many ways, taking on 157 years before the Constitution has meaning for us. Why I want the slave master to celebrate it? Because it's not his to celebrate. He lost that day. Wow. And no such thing as black history. It's American history. The American history is made up of the raped and the rapists. Base black, treble yellow, talk smooth, sing mellow. So there's the one history. Masters and the enslaved. So masters and enslaved. Same history. Our skin colors are evidence. Same history. Same people. We built the country on labor and our wages and ideas. And look, watch this. What's amazing me about how God has blessed us to keep on fighting back. You know, when they said we were inferior, they taught at Columbia we were inferior, at Harvard, Princeton, Yale, we were inferior. And Jack Johnson, when he fought Tommy Burns and Jeffries, he won the fight. There was a race wrestle of the country. He began to break the back on the science of racism. That's why Ali's hero was not Joe Louis, it was Jack Johnson. Because Jack Johnson, he defeated Tommy Burns and Jeffries. He defeated the myth, the whites was the black strong, but whites can think. He outthought him and outthought him. And they was bold, and they was from Beaumont, Texas. Bold enough to marry one of the master's daughter. He went across the state line with the woman he was going to marry. They accused him of taking children across the state border. So the white woman, Jack Johnson, took across the border. He married her. He wasn't like the owners of the patriarchs. He married her. And it took Trump to pardon him. We couldn't get him pardoned until last year. Nobody would touch it. Say, he's a gangster. Say, cross him. His point was, he wanted to punish her daddy. Maybe let man marry a white woman, punish her daddy. Y'all kiss him. Can I go a step further? Yes. When Max Mellon was the king of world boxing and thought that he would be Aryan supremacy, He said, I'll bring my David and I'll pay sugar. If anybody in the world can beat Maximilian, bring him out. America looked at its white stock. Europe looked at its white stock. Only one man on earth could beat Maximilian. Joe Louis. 1 minute 12 seconds, the first round, broke his ribs. When Jackie Robinson broke into baseball, segregation was legal. So Rosa Parks sat in 1955 on the front of the bus. Jackie Robinson sat in on the front of the bus 1941. The military base, Jack Robinson was the back of the bus. See, Jack Robinson was court-martialed. He's at the back with his teammates pulling against him. On the back side, in the dugout, they put black cats in the dugout over in Brooklyn, New York.
Well,
Right on the river where the slave masters dropped the ships. Can you imagine that when he was hit by they never cleared the dugout to come to his defense? He was spiked, no one ever came. On the TV, Reed said in Louisville, this is my guy.
all right.
He hit home runs in Brooklyn, they booed him. They booed success. The contradiction. So Jackie broke into the white baseball league. There were 3 leagues. Black League, Caribbean, Latin American League, and White League. They called theirs major. The major was a label. That was not the fact. So Jackie Robinson, Larry Dover, Campanella, Don Newcomb, who died this week, when they broke into baseball, none of them was on the bench as apprentices. They came in as all-stars. There were 3 leagues. Black League, the Newark Eagles, Larry Dover, Black League, White League, Latin American League. I don't want to get on y'all's nerve with this kind of message. Jackie broke in. Then I said, well, the owners own the players. Why the Dodgers stayed together for so long? The owners own the players. So they want to sell them or fire them. They own the players. Kurt Flood said, no. You can't sell me. Kurt Flood went to the 13th Amendment and said he won a lawsuit and made it illegal to sell players. They were not slaves. He didn't say baseball no more, but guess what? Every player today, and say football, basketball, baseball, around the world, got free agency because of Kurt Flood. You cannot buy and sell people. 13th Amendment. All the players who come out of college, one in Delta, Kentucky, and Louisville, and play 1 year, and they go out of high school straight to pros. They had a law. You couldn't play until your college class graduated. You couldn't play 1 year and quit. You had to play 4 years, or remain eligible 4 years. And so Spencer Haywood, after summer, he said, I have a right to work. So I need my money. And they blackballed him or whiteballed him out of the Hall of Fame for 10 to 20 years. So Spencer Haywood is the reason why, talk to me, says Spencer Haywood is the reason why athletes can play before their college class graduates. Kurt Flood is the reason why you get free agency and get paid according to your market value. Kurt Flood is the reason why you're not owned. 400 years later. The good news is, it's been a tough struggle. Change has come so fast the last 50 years, I'm not sure that we even caught up with the time. We got the right to vote in 1965, said blacks couldn't vote. White women couldn't serve on juries in the South. 18-year-olds who were serving in Vietnam could not vote. Talk to me somebody now. You couldn't speak bilingually. So it says 65 Voting Rights Act freed white women in the South, freed Latinos, freed, they say today, you get voting in Spanish because of Selma. So to know yourself, give you some esteem. Now look at Trump. I see Trump, I don't see Champ. They say, well, you know, blacks can't get on board regular, blacks are not smart enough to go on board directors. If they just mentioned, why they're $22 trillion in debt? So the reason why people run $22 trillion in debt because they make their own money with a bitch on it. Lastly, this week in our Wall Street project repeats our 4 movements in the symphony. First movement, in slavery. You need to study that. Second movement, in Jim Crow. Third movement, right to vote. Fourth movement is Wall Street. Capital, industry, technology, and deal flow. What does nationalism again against these odds? When Maxine Waters, who is now chair of the finance committee, when she speaks, Wall Street banks have to. So Maxine Waters has subpoena power over banks on Wall Street. She has the power to let them reveal the records and find out the plight of our people 400 years later. When Dr. Santee was born, my grandma took out 25 cents a week, education insurance policy for her. And she took it out on New York Life. I found it 2 years ago. 25 cents a week, insurance policy. So if I make $100 and spend $105, therefore the spending. If I make $1 million and spend $1.1 million in the whole, I shall always spend more, spend less than I have, and vote all I can. Spend less than you have, and vote all you can. If you spend more than you have, and vote less than you can, that's suicide. See, if I vote less than I have, and spend what I don't have, that's suicide. Well, one time I let you go, my grandma, she wanted to buy my brother and I some clothes one Christmas. She didn't have any money. Of course, so she borrowed $11 and had to pay $33 back. And so she paid the money off $1 a month, something like that. A group of women who could neither read nor write formed the Women Workers Club. They'd meet every Monday night at somebody's house, and they'd cook a little cake, churn the ice cream, and they'd save 25 cents a week, 50, sometimes $1 when they had a good week. Next thing, they had $30, $35 in the savings club. They spent less than they made, and they fought all they could. That generation now that's been Harvard and Yale. They ain't been no Harvard Bank in Harlem. They ain't been no Independence Bank. They ain't been no North Carolina Mutual. Looking for a job, not looking for ownership. On this note, I leave you today, my brothers and my sisters. Today, there are 55 blacks in the Congress, 30 Latinos, and 20 Asians, 100 women. So from the bottom of the ship to championship, look at us now. Denying us citizenship, look at us now. The balcony in Memphis, the balcony at the White House. 40 years in the wilderness. Look at us now. We came, being called nigger, enslaved to Barack Hussein Obama. So look at us now. Our God is a mighty God. When God speaks, everybody has to listen. Lord is my light and my salvation. Who shall I fear? Lord is the strength of my life. It gets dark sometimes. The morning comes. The morning comes. It says morning time. It's morning time. Because we've been endure for a night. To hold on. Hold out. Don't give up. Say joy comes in the morning. When Benita Johnson speaks, Silicon Valley has to listen. Maxine Waters speak, all has to listen. We vote together, good things come our way. I am God's child. I am God's child. I matter. I matter. I am God's child. It gets rough sometimes. Sometimes, like Job said, my worst fears upon me, but I know that my Redeemer lives. And he lives in my soul. It gets dangerous sometimes. And I was stabbed in the chest one day. I went to see him in the hospital in New Jersey. I said, but guess what? Yea, though I walk through valleys and shadows of death, I fear no evil, because thou art with me. There's power in thou. Thou makes the sun shine. Thou makes the grass grow. Thou makes the water grow. There's power in thou. There's power in thou. There's power in thou.
Everybody sing. Everybody now. Everybody sing. Sing it like you mean it. Sing it like you mean it. Sing it like you mean it. One more time, y'all. One more time, y'all. Everybody sing. I'm gonna open the doors of the movement. There may be someone here today that never joined National Action Network on this day. But you've heard this historic message from Reverend Jesse Jackson. There could not be a better day for you to come forward, and we sign you into National Action Network. Come on, everybody now. Everybody sing. Everybody sing. Sing for Reverend Jackson. Holding on to gold. Everybody sing. We need justice. We need freedom. Everybody sing. Yeah. Sing it like you mean it. Sing it like you mean it. Sing it like you mean it. All right. Before I raise the offering, and before Reverend Jackson takes his breath, didn't he speak this morning? I know we gonna have the public advocate candidates in about 45 minutes, but as I said, Reverend Jackson named the House of Justice. And one of the things that I wanted to do today that's special to me, I take privilege, is that, as you know, Dominique and Marcus had my first grandchild. And he never has been to the House of Justice, just a few weeks old. He came today the first time to see Jesse Jackson. raise our offering. Let's raise our offering. I need everybody that can move quickly. Gotta do this quick. I want to get out of the way of the debate. I gotta get Reverend Jackson downtown. I need about 10 people that can raise. I need 10 people I need to raise. I need about 10 people to give $100 or more. Come quickly. Come quickly. Don't make me beg in front of Reverend Jackson. Come on. Winston Gilchrist, $100. Head of 100 black men. Brother Stevie Bartlett, $100. Reverend Joe Carter, $100. Lord Dardell, $100. Trinity Smelton, $100. That's Brother Carter from 100 Black Men, $100. Guardians, $100. Danny, new member, $100. All right, I got my 10. Give me some 50s, 50, 50, 50. Ferguson and them will take over at 12. Shh. I'm gonna take in the new members, and I'm gonna let Reverend Jackson get on downtown so he hit the door. So we're not gonna have him shaking hands. You're not gonna wear him out. He got a whole day. Don't ask to see my grandson. Elvis has left the building. Y'all ain't gonna wear out Jackson, and y'all ain't gonna wear out my grandson. And y'all know I got to do my show this evening, so y'all sure ain't gonna wear me out. I gotta act like. But we gonna dismiss together. Let us bring on our new members: Elder Myra Cox, Christine Fripp, Earl Williams, James Sanders. Come forward. Give them a hand as they come. Give them a hand. We're grateful and thankful that you chose to come forth today and become members of National Action Network. His brother Derek Ferguson, as well as who is our field director here in the city, head of our chapter here, his brother Griffith, and Brother Ponder, will give you new membership orientation. Goldie standing there, and we are prepared to go to work. We need you, we want you, wherever committee, we have 23 auxiliaries and committees, wherever you serve, best is where we want you. Turn and face the audience and welcome them to the National Action Network. Give them a big hand. Give them a big hand. All right. I want everybody to be ready at exactly noon. We're going to start this public advocate debate special election here on Tuesday. Let us all stand. Amen. Stand. How sweet the sound. Take the hand of the person next to you. Repeat after me. We're an African people. Robbed of our name, our culture, our family, our self-respect. But we shall rise, never to fall again. Up, you mighty race. We can accomplish